Okay, well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Kind of interesting to have a morning meeting. I kind of like it. Today is Thursday, August 28th at 10 a.m. This is a special board meeting, and I am calling the meeting to order. Old business. So we've been working on the E-code for quite some time. I want to thank Heidi and Mike for all the work that you've put into this. Um, it's been a process, to say the least. So I think we're going on a year and a half, close to 2 years that we've been working on this, and it's kind of similar to what we did with the zoning update. So it's important for everybody to see the latest legal analysis that we received back from E-code. We do have a contract with E-code to assist us with this. So it's important that everybody have the same information, and this has been sent to Eric, our legal counsel, and like the zoning, that Monica that we contracted with, there's certain things we have to do. Because it is a change, and Eric needs to go through every single one of these items and then give us legal counsel on them. And then we need to hold a public hearing, because we are changing code. So it is quite a lengthy document. And there's some things that, the committee met, you spent a lot of hours on this. I want to thank the committee as well. And there's a few things that need to be revised or changed, but we really need Eric's legal counsel to go through this. So, and then we need to set a public hearing. So my thoughts are, if we set a public hearing for November, hopefully this will all be done. And then it'll give us time to do the legal notice and have it all in order after the board reviews what Eric sends us. So I'm throwing this out to the board right now, how you think we should proceed. I've gone through this a couple times and I still have to wrap my head around it. But if you look at even question code 005, we have to repeal some laws and then pass new laws. It's the same framework as the zoning. I don't want to go years doing this like we did with the zoning process. So what are your thoughts?
What's the committee's opinion after they went through and checked off all the boxes? What are they?
So it was Jim and Randy committee, right, with meeting?
Correct. I mean, the four of us went through it all and we made the adjustments that we felt needed to be made. I mean, Mike's the one that's got to deal with it. And so, and that's a lot of times we said, are you comfortable with this? And, or he made his suggestions and he's a code guy, so that's, we went along with him, but you can see the changes that we made, and then what the process was, we had to go back to the state. And then, but I said, this, all of a sudden, I'm a little confused by why it's getting, all of a sudden it's confusing. So I thought what we did is go back and we were gonna get a copy, a hard copy from the state then. If they agreed with the changes that we made, then we'd hold a public hearing and have a vote on it, but now we're making it sound like the attorney's got a whole lot of stuff to do and this is a longer process. I guess I'm a little confused by that.
Eric never reviewed this of what was being recommended. So, that piece is missing.
Okay, well, then I guess until that piece is not missing, and Eric's had the chance to review it. I'd say we're sitting and waiting on that.
Okay. So we'll put this on hold until we hear back from Eric. I did,
Right.
when we spoke the other day, he goes, this is gonna take some time, Marianne, for me to go through.
Yeah, and I wish we'd have known that
Mhm,
when we set this
mhm.
meeting date. Because I understand there's other things that we need to discuss, which are important, but I think we were all here with the hopes that we were gonna deal with this and
Mhm.
be able to set our public hearing and move forward, so.
And that was my hope too, Jim, but
Okay,
it didn't happen, but
No.
so, okay, so we'll table this until we hear back from, is everybody in agreement with that, John?
If you don't mind, Wayne, do you have, so this agreement that we went into with general code was before you became a board member. Do you have this? Do you need a copy of this?
I would like.
So just so the board is aware that the agreement that we are in also has a schedule of a timeline that we're supposed to meet each step. So if you guys all need another copy of that, I can give you a copy of it. Cause you guys should all be aware of what process and step we're in. And isn't there a deadline that this phase has to be completed by?
September 4th.
I
September
didn't hear
4th?
Mike.
This is,
September 4th.
so in our contract with general code, we have,
So, pardon, so when do we need to request the extension?
That's
What
what's
time?
gonna happen. I mean, we're
We
not
can't,
that far from September.
well, we can't have our public hearing and we
No,
can't
it's not even
make that
possible.
happen.
No.
So I would ask either Heidi or Mike to reach back out to E-code and just say due to circumstances, we're not gonna be able to meet that deadline. And we'd like an extension. And we still
Why
need
you don't
Eric.
wanna know what I'm thinking, you know?
I can see it on your face.
It's not,
It's not good.
can I be frank, Marianne? Can I be open?
Mhm.
Okay,
Respectfully.
yeah, well, it's respectfully, I'm not. Myself, Randy, Heidi went through this back in January. Prior to January, myself and Heidi forwarded this to council. We met the end of January, council never never with the committee. I sent this to council to review 2 months ago.
When you say council, town council or Eric?
Eric,
Okay, so legal council.
legal counsel, 2 months ago. That's what I gotta say. That's it. That's-
Okay,
I get it. We have other items that need to be addressed pertaining to other situations within the town. I understand that 100% completely. But just give me a response. That's all I'm asking for. Eric, if you can't get to it, you can't get to it. I'll work that out. Not dead, or contact you, one of you, and say, I can't get to it. Hey, I would be,
all right.
if
Okay,
somebody
So-
came to me and had a deadline to September 4th. I'm gonna get September
well, it
4th.
wasn't on my radar either, else I would have, I
Yeah.
mean, I have, it was on the July agenda. I wasn't here at the time,
Correct.
so I don't think that September 4th deadline was cleared. So anyways, we need to move forward, so I think it's appropriate for Heidi and Mike to reach out to E-code and just say, we need more time to get this done, and hopefully,
Well, yeah, and I wouldn't. If they may ask, well, what kind of time are we talking? I don't think this needs to be left open-ended. So if we've got, what's our November meeting date? So I would
the
say
second
that
Wednesday.
we want to have our public here, well,
You're back.
And that's gonna be the budget public hearing too,
Well,
around that
but
time.
if we have, but if we have our public hearing,
Right,
you know. If nobody shows up, pretty easy to adopt. But if 6 people show up with
Concerns.
9 different comments about it, what do we do then? They'll just,
Mhm.
so. Can we have the public hearing ready for October? So we can
Preferably.
approve it in November. So at least they can say, you know,
Mhm.
here's what's gotta happen. We gotta have council finish
Mhm.
the review of it.
Make sure
And
it's
then
legal.
we gotta set our public hearing, which we'd like to have due in October, so that we can approve it at our November board meeting. So at least they've got dates when they talk to them
Mhm.
that are definitive.
And also, I don't know if they will charge us just additional fees for going outside
They
the
may.
contract, so the
They
board
might
needs to be
say-
prepared for that too.
It's gonna cost more money to extend or whatever. So,
I mean,
And the committee's recommendations were the answers that we picked. So like the ones we went through all of them together. So
Mhm.
like what we picked for changes is the recommendation of the committee.
mhm.
uh, and yeah, they may charge because they can. But I mean, they don't, as long as we're not doing anything, they don't have to do anything, so, but still. They gave a schedule, we didn't keep it a schedule, that's on us, not on them. So, okay,
Are there? I don't wanna say, are there a ton of things in this that are just questionable that we need Eric to look at? Or is just,
Well, when we met, the day we met, I did email him with a few questions that we did want him to answer. And we didn't hear back.
and there was some for the assessor, but you
Yeah.
took care of them
Took care
with
of it.
Cindy, and those
Yeah.
those questions got satisfied.
See, when you're looking at this,
Mhm.
Wayne.
Yeah.
It's just not. Like myself, chapter 70 under the code is town zoning code, but this code encapsulates all town of Canton.
Mhm.
Assessor laws,
All of it.
all,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So you're not just
Right.
looking at one piece of the town of Canton, you're looking at it as a whole. Dog licensing, marriage licensing, all that, so. There was a lot of people involved in it, and we got it down to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the
We
process.
reached out to all department heads. We even contacted the highway superintendent with a few questions that were on his
So it's
department.
just a matter of just confirming that everything's okay, and then we can.
And that you agree with the
Yeah.
recommended answers we
We
chose.
started out with this, and this come back from the state. And this is the way.
yeah.
And so then they sent us
Mhm.
also this, which. you
That's the
see that.
original.
And so, like.
Well, Wayne's got a copy of it right
Yeah,
there.
I got one.
So
And
he's,
there, and these do
Yeah.
not revise, we said, do not revise, do not revise.
Yeah, so some of them are pretty, but there were a few we did change.
You know, we're going on with revise as follows, that this is not an appointed position in highway,
Right,
it's an
right,
elected position, so we made those changes, which,
but the ones that do have language changes, that's what Eric really needs to focus on. And then we need a small list. I mean, I don't think it's a lot.
no.
It's minimal.
No, most
But
of
we
them were-
need to just focus on those,
Yeah.
And then, we gotta be able to do a
But-
public notice and then have those available for the
Mhm.
public to review, so.
But I mean, if he's gonna do it and do it correctly, I think he has to do this in its entirety and say,
Yeah,
and then say,
that's what he
"Plus,
said.
why
because-
why did you say do not revise on this? Because of some legal thing,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And they
Right,
said, well, we didn't know that was,
and that's why he said the
and
other
so
day that
he's
that's gonna
gotta look
take
at
time.
this, he's got to look at this. and
Yeah.
I understand it,
And do a cross comparison.
but, yeah,
Okay, so,
And then just to, when you're looking at this, we've already we've already passed a few local laws that are going to be different than what's in here, like the dog licensing fees that we just passed that, but don't reflect in here just because there was a cutoff date of what local laws they took. So once this is published, then I'll resubmit the new ones and then they'll update that. Just so if there is a dog license law, you're like, oh, that's not right. There's a process, so the new one won't show in this packet. If you're reviewing it and are like, wait a second. Once it's published, once we've hit our final phase and we're done, then I resubmit and then they'll update it for us. They'll put the new laws in.
Right, and so as far as budgeting concerns for the 2026, we have to put in an annual fee to E-code, but any law that is update, that's gonna be additional cost. To, you know, to maintain and all that, so that'll be added to that budget line for 2026.
And then
I mean,
during
we
that,
don't pass a lot of laws during the year since I've been here, it's like maybe a handful, depending upon what's going on, but, so. Okay, so if Heidi and Mike, you can reach out and let them know what our situation is, and we'll just have to wait for Eric. And then go from there, but your suggestion of having a public hearing in October so that we can pass it in November, let's try to make that as a goal. I do
can we
have it
confirm
on,
that before we email them?
excuse me?
Could we get a confirmation on that before we email them? So when we email them asking for an extension, we could say the plan is to hold a public hearing in October and then hopefully pass it in November.
That's
So can we wait
good
till you hear
idea.
back?
Yeah, because there's no sense in coming to
I-
Eric and saying this has all gotta be done for a public hearing in October, and you just, like, that's not gonna happen. So, yeah, now we're right back behind the 8 ball, so yeah, should check Eric and say, here's what the board's plan is. This is what we want done, is it doable?
And then if
Well,
not,
I do have it on the September agenda to talk about this again,
Well,
so.
we need to get started on it, I think on today,
Yeah,
find it
that's
out.
like yesterday.
And-
I would just prefer to email the company with
Yes.
like
Confirmation.
confirmation
Yes.
dates of our goal date to,
You know,
so we're not going back and forth 3
That
different
can be
times.
a goal date, but there's,
Reaching out.
right. Good.
Would just look more organized on our end, I think.
that can be the goal date, but. You know, it depends on Eric's schedule and what we get
Goalposts
back,
have been moved before.
so, okay. All right, so it sounds like we have a plan, we'll get through this, Again, thank you to the committee and Heidi and Mike and E-code for the process and Eric's gonna go through it, okay. All right, under new business, this is an appointment of a part-time clerk. We went through the process, we advertised the position, it was already budgeted for, it hadn't been filled yet, but it's time to fill that. And I'm making the motion that we appoint Lorraine Salomon as a part-time clerk for 19 hours a week for $20 an hour. It will be primarily for the assessor's office. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Carried, okay. We do need to go into executive session to talk about CSCA negotiations. So I need a motion to go into executive session for that.
So move.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Who seconded that one?
I'm
Anyone?
sorry?
Jim Smith?
Sorry.
Well, they both said
Okay,
it.
it's been 20.
Mhm.